Okay, thank you so much. My name is Agnes Simba from Women in Agile Africa, and our next speaker is Mr. Ashtosh. I can't pronounce my name, Ashtosh, but Wadeka, something like that. And I'm here to give a brief bio of our next speaker. And Mr. Ashtosh organization is startup on Zara services in India. And Mr. Ashtosh is a senior industry professional, having 21 years of experience in the field of enterprise-wide Agile transformation, scale Agile and Scrum implementation, Agile coaching, Agile test strategy, software project management, project consulting, test processing consulting, IS audit, IT governance, PMO, Center of Excellence, software quality assurance and control, coaching and mentoring. And he also has a core consulting experience and expertise in the area of scale Agile framework, implementation and rollout, implementing Agile practices like test-driven development, which is TDD, ATDD, and CI/CD, and transitioning projects from the traditional software development to Agile methodology. And he also has a core consulting experience in project management office, PMO setup, transition in management, and also experience in proposal preparation, solution design, and solution validation. He has also a strong experience in requirement gathering, management, and validation, and manage project teams in size 80 plus in on-site offshore models. He is also a founder of Tune Agile Thought Leaders, conference organizer, and he's also a presenter in various conferences, which some of these are PMI South Asian Conference 2023, Regional Scrum Gathering, which was in Dhaka 2023, and he was also a presenter in Agile in DevOps Conference, which was in June 2018 and 2019, APGI India, which was in 2018 and 2019. He was also a presenter on Regional Scrum Gathering in Hyderabad, which was in 2017 and 2021, and Technical Agility Conference in Hyderabad, which was in 2017. So today, Mr. Ashtosh will focus more on this title, Queen of Hearts, like gamification activity to identify our Agile coaching style, actually. Thank you for your attention, and please welcome Mr. Ashtosh Batawedeka. Thank you so much.
Donc, qui suis-je? Donc, je suis Ashling.
Please, before we continue for a few seconds and I leave you the floor, Ashtosh, please, when you're coming into the session, don't hesitate to mute yourself to make sure that we all have a very nice experience. So thank you. And as you've seen, the background of our speaker is very, very impressive. And we're really, really lucky to have him share his knowledge. So I am grateful, and hopefully we are grateful to have you here. The floor is yours, please. Don't hesitate to share your screen. And while I'm talking, making sure that I put you co-host so that you're able to do everything you need to do.
Thanks, Fanny. I hope I'm audible to all of you, and everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Can.
Okay, great. So first of all, thanks to Women in Agile Africa for giving me an opportunity to speak in front of this very august audience. So I come with a very, very interesting session, something, it's a gamification activity, which I'm going to talk about. I'm sure many of us are playing the role of Scrum Masters and Agile coaches in this audience. So I'm sure this tool or this gamification activity is something which is going to help you in crafting your coaching strategy, in coming out with how exactly you should be doing coaching. And yeah, to be very honest, this is an exercise, or this is a game which I actually, I would say, invented during the COVID-19 lockdown period. So obviously, we all know we were going through a stressful period. We were going through a lot of anxiety in that COVID-19 lockdown. And this is something like a kind of an idea which struck me that why cannot we have something like this? It's a very simple technique. It's a very, I would say, easy to use technique. But the importance of this technique is the way we use it, right? And I'll reveal the more secrets about it, how exactly we do it. Obviously, it would have been better if we would have done it in a workshop mode where all of you would have actually experienced it. But nevertheless, I think this would be a good teaser for all of you to take it back to your workplace, to try it out at your home and see how these cards can be used. And there's a reason why I have called it as Queen of Hearts. Okay, it's not because the conference is Women in Agile Africa, but the name of the game itself is Queen of Hearts. Okay, I mean, that's how the original game is all about. Okay, now, yeah, that's about me. Yeah, so I'm Ashutosh Bhattodekar. Yeah, I don't want to brag about myself. I think a lot has been talked. Feel free to connect with me on the YouTube channel. I have my own YouTube channel. I'm on LinkedIn. So feel free to connect with me. I'll be more than happy to have your questions addressed later on also. Okay, so I'll talk about this game. I'll start with an opening note. Why gamification? I think that's a question which everyone has, right? Whether it is Queen of Hearts or any other gamification activity. Why is this? Why is gamification so important in our lives? Whether we are coaches, whether we are program managers, project managers, or project leads, what benefit does gamification gives? I will introduce you to this game, how exactly this has to be played. We will try to take some pertinent use cases which can come up in your coaching journey, and we'll try to see some of the combinations, and then we will end it with some of the best, worst, or most likely scenarios. So this is where something where I would expect you to contribute here. Okay, the last part of it. And then I will also share with you some other gamification activities which I have been using in my coaching journey. So as introduced, I play the role of an agile coach. And as an agile coach, many times we have to understand the kind of team we are working with, the kind of personalities and the people we are working with. And which is where it helped me, which is where this game helps me to do a lot of these things. So just a quick introduction. What is a gamification theory? It's a what gamification techniques or theory talks about is that learners learn best when they're also having fun, right? I mean, imagine sitting in a boring lecture and trying to understand what the professor is trying to tell. But if the same message has been given to you through a game or through an activity or through an exercise, I think the retention capacity is higher. You tend to understand the concept in a much better way. And at the same time, you enjoy the entire learning experience. And I'm a big fan of gamification activities. As I said, towards the end of the session, I will also share some other tools or other activities related to gamification activities, which I have been using. So I have tools for writing user stories. So many times when we are writing user stories, we cannot figure out the scenarios. So I'll tell you a tool which can be used, right? How to build, how to build an agile vocabulary and at the same time, bring about self-organization in the team. So I have some tools which obviously I'll talk about towards the end of this session. Okay, so moving ahead, deep dive, some general disclaimer around it. The colors in the cards are purely for distinguishable purpose, just to distinguish between, let's say, an X color and a Y color. Okay, this is not a work of fiction. Okay, so you could find a personality which is closer to the one which is mentioned on the card. It could be your current manager, it could be your previous manager, or you never know, you could get such a personality in the future. Right, you might end up working with that personality in the near future in the project. Okay, all I wanted to also tell you that I'm going to talk about certain roles which people perform in an engagement. I respect all those roles. So whether it is a product owner, whether it is a scrum master, whether it is a delivery head or the senior management, there's an inherent respect for all these roles. Yes, there will be some personality traits which I'll be talking about, which might give an impression that is it a negative personality or a positive personality. But the intention, as I said, is to really understand what roles people perform and to respect these roles which are there. All the information which I've used for this presentation is publicly available. It is available on internet. So you can later on also search it. And of course, we are recording this session. It is also getting live stream on LinkedIn Live. So it's something which is public. There's nothing secret in this information which I'm going to tell. And you have to put yourself into the shoes of a transformation agent or a leader or an agile coach. So you are an agile coach in this entire gamification exercise. And from your perspective, this gamification exercise has to be thought about. Okay, so general disclaimers around this topic, what is there. So even if you don't know playing cards, that is okay. But I'm sure a lot of us know what are playing cards. There's a standard 52 card deck, what is available. And there are those 16 picture cards in that, right? But even if you don't know, that is absolutely fine. In fact, the next slide, I will start explaining what exactly are these cards all about, or how does a standard deck of 52 playing card looks like, and how I can use it in my coaching journey or identifying the coaching style which I have to use here. Okay, so having said that, let me first introduce to the type of cards we have in a standard deck of playing cards. As you know, there are 4 types of picture cards which are there, and we are going to use only those picture cards in this exercise. And what are those picture cards? There is aces, right? Then there is a king, there is a queen, and then there is a jack, right? A standard deck of playing cards of what we have. Okay, and combined with this, there are 4 suits which are there. What are the suit cards? We have a spade, we have a heart, we have a club, and then last but not the least, we have a diamond. I hope everyone, maybe you can give me a thumbs up quickly, pretty much clear with what I'm trying to tell here so far. 4 types of what we say as the picture cards which are there: aces, king, queen, and jack, right? Represented by a picture. And 4 types of suits represented by an image on those cards, like a spade, then we have heart, then we have club, and then we have a diamond. So you can just give a thumbs up that yes, this is clear to everyone, so that we can move ahead. Now, what is going to happen is that each of this picture card is going to represent a role. And you are not in this picture card, as I said. You are a transformation leader, or you are a transformation agent who's going to do this entire transformation around it. You are at the center, or you are at the pivot around which these picture cards are located. Okay, now what are aces all about? Aces are all related to what we call as the senior management. So in any organization, we have the CIO, CXO level, the senior executive level, and they are visionary, right? We all know they have a vision, they have a strategy, they have an objective which has to be done, right? So that is what we call it as the visionary role, what is there, or a senior management role. What is a visionary role, what we have. Okay, so that is what is represented by the aces what we have, or that is the ace what we say. And again, of 4 suits which are there. King is your project leadership, your delivery head, delivery manager in a project, that is represented by a king. And they have a goal, they have an objective related to the project, they have a project related goal, and they have a client relationship to be maintained. Okay, so queen is a scrum master. Okay, and we all know that as a scrum master, I have to play that role of a servant leader. I'm the coach, right? I'm the coach or the guide or a mentor to the team. And that is what the role a queen is going to play. And last but not the least, Jack is nothing but a product owner, someone who's going to work towards maintaining the product backlog, someone who's going to prioritize the product backlog. And we can say that this person is very, very close to the customer. This person is someone who will gather the requirements from the end user and prioritize them and put into a backlog. So those are the 4 roles which are there. right? I hope these 4 roles are clear to everyone. You can just put it in the chat without unmuting that these 4 roles are clear to everyone. What exactly these 4 roles are talking about. I'm assuming. So repeating once again, ACE is senior management. Then we have King as a project leadership, Queen as a scrum master, and the Jack as a product owner. So that is what the picture card represents. Okay, now what are the suit cards represent? Suit cards represent the personality traits. So people who fall under the spade category, they are very, very direct and blunt. So if I'm a spade personality, I will be very upfront, tell my team member, no, this is not what I expected. I'm totally disappointed with the work you have done. No sugar coating, right? As they say, right? Call a spade, right? That is what the famous English idiom says, right? Call spade a spade. So that is what these people are. They want the exact information. They don't want any nonsense around it. They want a right set of data and a matrix, which has to be, it has to be unfiltered, right? So if there's something wrong in the project, they want to know it immediately, right? Rather than sugarcoating it, we should rather give the exact picture to them, is what we say spades are, right? That is what is the spade what we have. Now coming to hearts. Hearts, personality people are very emotional centric people. They're full of empathy. They're full of warmth. They have a strong emotional quotient, or a EQ, what we say, right? And these are the personalities who are very people centric. They have a human sense, and they will always go towards the benefit for the team members. Though too much of this quality is also a problem sometimes, right? People might take you for granted, or people might take you for a ride. Okay, so the too much of anything is a problem, and the same thing applies even to a heart kind of a personality what we have. Then we have club. Club are people who are very hardworking people. Okay, they are very hardworking. They will slog. They will do the work. But at the same time, they land up into that situation because they are very confused. They are very unclear around it, right? The requirements may not be fully clear to a club kind of a person, or whatever job they are doing, they might get chaotic, or things might become very unclear, and they operate in an unknown zone what is there. And lastly, we have diamonds, which are heavily driven by numbers. So if I'm a diamond personality, I will look for matrix, I will look for data points, I will look for the business value, the profits which I'm generating, right? Why I'm doing this, what is the outcome of this? More than an output, it is more about an outcome which I'm going to have, right? So 4 picture cards and 4 diverse personalities which are there. Now try to imagine what kind of a permutation and combination you can have. So any guesses how many combinations I can have? 4 pictures and 4 of these suit cards which are there. There are multiple combinations which I can have. If you do mathematics, probability and probability, you will find permutations and combinations. You will find there are multiple combinations which are possible. Okay, and obviously this session won't be enough for us to do all the combinations, right? That I think you would have realized by now, that we probably will be able to pick up only a handful of these combinations. There could be a combination which you could have encountered as a scrum master, or or a transformation leader, or an agile coach. I'm not denying that, which might be missing here. In the interest of time, I've just tried to pick up a few of the very interesting combinations which are there. And let us try to see how these combinations play. Again, remember, you are a transformation agent. So when you do this exercise, when you do this gamification exercise, your objective is to have a coaching approach or a coaching strategy for each of the combinations which are there. Okay, so what will you do as a coach, or what will you do as a mentor or a guide? That is what you will have to do, or that is the thing what you will have to do as a part of this combination which are there. So let us now go deep dive, and let us combination what is there. And for a moment, and yeah, as I said, this is me as an agile coach who has joined a new engagement. And when I'm interacting with my people, I find that my senior management is of a diamond, ace. My delivery head is more like a king of heart. My scrum master is a spade, whereas my PO is more like a club. So as a coach, what will I observe in this team? Any guesses? When I observe this combination and when I look at my team are the rest of the cards, 2 to 10. What patterns will I observe? Can anyone guess those patterns? If you can guess those, and if you would like to speak, I can give you an opportunity to speak. You can unmute, maybe one person can unmute and speak on that. What kind of a patterns you will see in this team? Or you can also type in, that's also not a problem. How will this team be performing in their day-to-day life? Any guesses on this? So senior management, and when we say diamond, it will be a matrix driven. This person needs lot of matrix, senior management, right? The CIO, CXO level. The delivery head is an empathetic person, what is there, right? The scrum master is a spade, which means direct and blunt. And the product owner is hardworking, though chaotic in his work. So obviously at a team level, you will see a lot of dysfunctions in this team. Because as a team, the scrum master being a spade, he or she will display a lot of command and control attributes, right? A lot of leadership style will be more directed towards a command and control attitude, what will be there. The product owner would need a product coaching to here. As a coach, I will have to clearly have a one-on-one product coaching with the product owner, how to prioritize the backlog, what are the different prioritization techniques, how do I ensure that the backlog refinement is happening at periodic intervals. So all those things, I'll have to do a coaching with the product owner, what is there, right? So that's one thing which you will observe. Delivery head per se looks okay as a king of heart, but the problem will be his or her equation with senior management. There might be a disconnect between delivery head and the senior management, because senior management will expect some data points, critical matrix or critical data points around this engagement, which probably the delivery head may not be in a position to give, or delivery head may not be able to deliver that promise, what is there. So we might see those kind of challenges which are there. Okay, those elements or those kind of challenges we might see as a part of this engagement, what is there. Okay, so what I have listed down. So as a coach, you can list down these attributes. So these are the observations. These are the observations which I have listed down here. So senior management needs more measurable outcomes. As I said, the delivery head tries to pacify or satisfy everyone. Scrum master might exhibit a command and control attribute, and the PO is going to be very, very confused. So as a coach, this will be my strategy. As a coach, this will be my organizational strategy, which I'll there. So I'll try to coach the scrum master more on servant leadership style rather than on a command and control style. I might have to even replace a PO in this case. I mean, I'm just figuring it out, right? I mean, if the PO is not able to mend his or her ways, I might have to replace the PO. And delivery head, I'll have to make him or her coach more on becoming more assertive, king of hearts, right? That assertiveness has to be brought into the role of a delivery head or a delivery manager. Again, I'm not saying that you have to agree with these statements, what I'm making, but this is more like a blueprint. This is more like my drawing table or a strategy table, what is there, that if I want to coach such a team where I encounter these combinations, this could be a possible coaching blueprint, or this could be a possible coaching strategy which I want to adapt. You might have a different coaching strategy, but at least it gives you a platform for you to identify the scenarios, what kind of personalities are there, and how you can leverage these personalities and how you can coach them individually. All right. Moving ahead. Now, let me open up the second combination here. Just observe it very, very carefully and tell me, what do you think about combination number 2? So we are in combination number 2. So kindly let me know, what do you think about combination number 2 as a coach? Anyone?
Seems a little bit less chaotic than the first one.
Perfect. Yes, less chaotic than the first one, because what you can clearly see is the Scrum Master and the product owner combination looks to be great. As a product owner, I need to be aware about the numbers, right? Especially related to product, some key product matrix, product numbers, return on investment, right? The time to market, etc. I should be aware of it. And as a Scrum Master, we all know, right? As the Scrum Master is a true leader or a servant leader to the team, right? So definitely that is something which is creating a great amount of, I would say, bonding between the two. There's though a challenge at a delivery head level, right? I mean, if you encounter such a delivery head level, obviously the direction or the compass might be a problem, right? So that is something what you might encounter in this situation. And the senior leadership being a spade, that again would be may not be a problem per se, but this personality would be very blunt and direct. So as a coach, my recommendation to team would be that always keep your senior management satisfied. Okay, delivery head might need a coaching on how to organize work, right? The general coaching on managing the work effectively, avoiding the confusion, right? Ability to take decisions at critical points in time. So that's what the delivery head would require. Okay, the delivery head would require that coaching. Scrum Master is perfectly fine. I think you'll have to just nudge the Scrum Master. You just have to keep that person on a watch list. He or she may not require that one-on-one extensive coaching, because I think as a Scrum Master being a heart, that is a good sign to have, right? Or that is a good, I would say, combination to have. And even from a product owner perspective, you might want to keep the product owner on a watch list, or keep the product owner in an observable state, what is there, just to make sure that we are not veering away from, or he or she is not veering away from the path what is there. So a kind of a watch list for a Scrum Master and a product owner, whereas senior management try to keep them satisfied. You cannot change senior management, we all know that. And delivery head, obviously as a transformation agent or as a coach, I will have to do a one-on-one coaching as to from a general managerial side, or how to improve the competency as a general manager kind of a thing. That is what I'll have to do from a delivery head perspective. So that is how the combination two would look out, or that is again a coaching blueprint or a strategy for combination number two, what is there. Right. Again, this is just a kind of a framework. This is just a kind of an, I would say, a kind of a framework or a quick thing which can help you to gauge, which can help you to frame your own unique coaching style or your own coaching strategy, what is there. All right. Moving ahead. Combination 3. Yeah, we'll take one more. Combination 3. Any thoughts anyone has on this? And it is on the screen now. Combination 3. Anyone, any thoughts on this? Any idea, any thoughts or any suggestions on this? How do you view this one?
I think we have stakeholders that have very good data information or structured.
Okay. Stakeholders have got good, okay. So definitely, I think from a senior management perspective, it is a reverse of combination 1. So they have just changed their positions. So diamond has come here, heart has gone on top. That is what is combination number 3, what is there. Okay, but from a Scrum Master perspective, it's definitely a problematic area. And PO also, right? If you look at the PO also, right? A direct and a blunt PO, though in some cases it might work in capturing the requirements properly, but definitely as a coach, you will have to spend some extra time in coaching the PO, some extra time in coaching the Scrum Master. Delivery head, absolutely fine. I think a numbers person or someone who needs matrix or someone who needs a lot of those data points around it. So that is what a delivery head would require. And senior management being that empathetic or being that, I would say, a people-centric senior management. I think that is something what would help, right? Or that is something which would be a good sign to have. So yeah, so these are the personality traits which we will find, or these are some of the personality elements what you will see as a part of this transformation which is there, right? I mean, if you land up in this combination, and again, as I'm saying, there are multiple combinations possible, multiple permutations possible which are there, right? But as a coaching strategy, okay, you'll have to coach with the management on innovation and experimentation. I think you can do a lot of innovation and experimentation in this engagement. Satisfy the delivery head with realistic measures. So we need to encapsulate and capture realistic metrics that matter. And the earlier session was on that only, right? Some very pertinent metrics, what should be captured, though, from an HR point of view. But definitely, this is something what is needed. And we have to coach the Scrum Master on the Scrum values. What are there, right? The 5 values of Scrum: focus, openness, respect, courage, and commitment. And the same thing applies for a product owner, right? Something applies for a PO, that our direct and blunt is a good thing to have, but how he or she can bring about also some diamond element into it. Now, let me also put a disclaimer here that in real projects, you may not find such over one personality. Usually you'll find a combination of these personalities. For example, I might be 80% heart, but 20% could still be a diamond. Or I might be 80% club or a spade, and then maybe 20% a diamond. So there are always going to be that shades. There's always going to be that distribution across the combinations which is going to happen, right? So in real world, you will always find that happening. You will always see that observing, and you'll have to understand which is the most dominant trait, what is there, which is the most dominant card which comes out. And accordingly, you will have to handle the coaching, or accordingly, you will have to do the coaching of these people. So as I said, I'll be taking just a couple of these cases. There are more cases applicable. There are more cases which can happen in a real world, in a real situation, or in a real world. More such combinations and cases which can happen around it, right? So that's one thing we need to remember as coaches and as change agents, right? Now, I'm going to give you a small exercise, okay? And tell me one thing, that if you are a coach, and if you want to identify which will be that combination, which will be the most easiest for you to coach, which means your job as a coach in such an engagement would be very comfortable. Though coaching is not comfortable, I know that, but somewhat relaxing, somewhat comfortable. If you can just jot down on a piece of paper, and you can type it in the chat and let me know what can be that combination which according to you will be the best possible combination what is there as a coach. This will be the kind of an ideal composition of personalities across the 4 roles, and what that combination can be. So just let me know what your thoughts are on this, the best possible combination.
Everyone is empathic.
Yeah, that is too idealistic, everyone being hearts. But I mean, somewhat closer to realistic. Yeah, everyone being empathetic will be a nice combination to have. But maybe apart from that, any other combination which can work out? Or you can also talk about your experiences, like you have met such so-and-so people in your past engagement, or you have met so-and-so personalities in your past engagement. One was like a diamond, another one was like a heart, a spade, and then maybe a kind of a club also, which was there. So if you can just also identify that, which were the combinations you have worked upon, and what exactly were they displaying, what traits they were displaying.
I would say that from what I've observed on my team, the time where it worked the best was when DH and SM were hard. And I had multiple combination of senior management and PO because DH and SM were hard, it kind of balanced the relationships.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying that there's a compensatory thing which was happening, right? There's a counter lever or a compensation which was happening, which obviously could balance out that, right? I mean, it could balance out the overpowering nature of I would say, of maybe a diamond or a spade, right? I mean, that overpowering nature is something which could be compensated by the Scrum Master and the PO being of a combination. Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is what we normally see that, right? I mean, this is where as a coach, you'll have to counterbalance it, or you'll have to make sure that the balance is in an equilibrium state. Yeah, I think someone else is trying to say something. Sorry. Yeah, Dapo, are you saying something? Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Oh,
Okay.
maybe a manipulation. I will just mute.
Okay. Fine. No, not a problem. Yes. And again, there's no right or a wrong answer for this. It is all contextual. It is all depends on the context in which you're working, the kind of situation you are in. It all depends on that, right? And then, of course, just like we have a best possible combination. As I said, I normally take a workshop on this. Okay. So wherein people actually sit in a group and they try to brainstorm, they try to figure out what can be the best combination, which can be the worst possible combination. You have to also be realized that sometimes things are not all days are sunny days, as we know, right? There could be a worst possible combination also. And yes, the extreme side of this can be all our club or all our spade, right? I mean, imagine all the four roles playing the role of a spade, or all the four roles, a combination of a spade and a club is definitely going to be a challenge, right? It is definitely going to be a problem, what is there, right? And as I said, this exercise, when you're doing as a coach, you might not want to reveal this to people, okay? This is something more like an internal tool, which you will keep it with you, which you will use it for your own coaching. So not all the coaching tools have to be exposed to everyone, right? What I'm trying to make a point here. You might want to keep this as a secret weapon in your armory, or some kind of a hidden tool, which you would only use it with yourself, right? And just try to figure out what strategy or what approach I should be applying on this, right? So you can find out the best possible combination, the worst possible combination, most likely what you will get, right? It can also be that most likely combination. This is more for the next engagement. It more helps you to analyze, okay, this might be the combination which I might get up, right? Or this might be that unique combination which will help me to identify my coaching style or my coaching stance, what is there. So there can be unlimited number of combinations. You have to figure out which combination you are having in the engagement, and accordingly have a coaching strategy or a coaching plan. Since the time when this tool has been developed, while I've been using it, I have not come across a combination which has really repeated itself, though that could happen. But to be very honest, I have not come across a combination which has repeated itself, or which has essentially replicated itself, is how I would put it. Okay. Now, apart from this, and yeah, I'll just talk about some other gamification activities also, which I have been using. I use these very interesting cards, which are called as improve cards. That is also another tool which I use in my gamification journey. This I also use it for retrospective. Many times when people don't speak up in retrospective, you can use these cards and you can ask them, okay, tell us what this picture represents. For example, hammer might be that we identified a new tool in the current sprint, or that sleeping cat might indicate that we got our approvals very, very late. That two people shaking hands might bring about a collaboration activities. We also have something called as an agile Scrabble, where we like a standard Scrabble game, but we divide the tiles between two teams, and then we ask them to collaborate to build a word, right? That gives a good amount of product refinement experience using agile Scrabble, what is there. We also have story cubes, which are there. And story cubes are tools which will help you during writing a user story. So these are not the normal cubes where you have numbers on them from 1 to 6. These are cubes which have got some pictures on it. You roll the dice, and whatever combination of picture comes in, you can use that and you can try to frame a user story, right? I mean, these are some of the very interesting tools you can use as a coach, as a scrum master in your coaching journey, in your coaching exercise, what is there. And last but not the least, you have tools like Mentimeter, Slido, then Kahoot, which actually amplify the gaming experience. So these tools will allow you to host quiz, they will allow you to host interactive sessions. So that is what these tools will help you do that. And at the end of the day, it will help you to essentially capture all the information, right? All the information and learning in an exciting way. As I said in the beginning, gamification exercise is all about learning in a fun way, learning in an exciting way. What is there? That's the whole purpose of a gamification exercise. What is there? So these are some of the very interesting tools which I have been using, which I have like this. Of course, this Queen of Hearts is something which I have crafted. What is there? And now one last thing before I open up the floor for question. The reason why I have called this Queen of Hearts is because I fundamentally believe that the Scrum Master has to be an empathetic leader, someone who's there for the benefit of the team, someone who's there to remove impediments. We all say, right? I mean, the Scrum Master is the impediment, facilitates to remove the impediments, or the CIO, Chief Impediment Remover, CIR, sorry, right? So that is what we say as a Scrum Master. And truly for a Scrum Master to be in that leadership role, truly for a Scrum Master to do the activities which are expected of her, of him, or him, I truly believe that this card, which is more apt to a Scrum Master, is that of a Queen of Hearts. I think that is the card which is closest to the chest, or that is a card which is closest to the heart, which can help us derive that role, or which can help Scrum Master play that role of a Queen of Hearts. What is there? So that's why the title of this talk is Queen of Hearts, gamification exercise to identify your own unique coaching style. What is there? So this tool is that attempt. It's a first attempt towards identifying or helping you identify your coaching style. So on that note, I end my talk here, and will be more than happy to have further questions on this, your thoughts on this, your idea on this. Just a quick check. These are my coordinates. If any of you is interested in connecting with me, feel free to connect with me. Feel free to interact with me further. If you don't get an opportunity to ask a question here, I'll be more than happy to connect with all of you. So on that note, I open the floor for any questions which are there. So any questions? I hope I have maintained the time. And yeah, I don't know if you have time for any questions. Let me know, requesting the moderator to let me know if you can pick up a question or not.
Yes, we have time for questions.
Okay, great. So any questions, anyone has any queries, I'll be more than happy to answer those questions.
While the people are thinking about their questions, I would say that it's as an Agile coach who has been working for a certain amount of years already, and being a Scrum Master, this is a very, very interesting and very novel for me way of addressing it. And I can't wait to actually start playing the games on my side to actually identify, purposefully identify the different types of people and make a plan according to those combinations.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm excited on that. Yes, thanks a lot.
So I think there is one thing that maybe was a little bit, most of our people here are kind of sometimes novel in Agile. We have a few Scrum Master and a few Agile coach, but they are on the beginning line for some of them. And for some of them, they're just trying to understand a little bit more about Agile. So it might be a little bit difficult for them to project themselves in an actual project or an actual space. For most of them, they are more active learners.
Okay.
In this space.
Yes, which is okay. I mean, they can always, and in any case, this also can be used when you as a Scrum Master or a product owner are interacting with different personalities. I mean, you can always modify the tool. You can always modify the stakeholders. I have picked up the stakeholders based on my interaction with those stakeholders. But if you are a Scrum Master, it could be product owner, it could be your team with whom you are interacting, it could be your person to whom you are reporting. And accordingly, you can customize the tool or you can contextualize the tool. So that always you can modify. You can always change the parameters of the tool. You can always modify it as per your unique requirements or your unique needs.
So if we don't have any question, just know that if it was too heavy for you and you need to reflect and think about it before you're able to have a constructive idea, I just shared again Ashutosh LinkedIn and YouTube so that you are able to reach out to him after the session when you have your brain a little bit less fuzzy with all the information that you have, so that you reach out to him and ask a question. I deeply believe that Ashutosh will be very happy, as any Agile person most of the time, to answer your question and answer your queries. So don't hesitate to contact him and learn more about that and hopefully apply it and making a tool in your coaching toolkit. So my Scrum Master thread is like, if there is not anything else, let's free the space for the next people. Everyone can have a breather. Our next session is in 15 minutes. It will be a French session on this Zoom. Give me just 1 second to make sure I'm not saying anything wrong.
Right. It's
Yes.
going to be
Yeah.
Lynette.
Yes, we have Lizette that is going
Lizette.
to join us next. And she'll be talking about authentic leadership and how we can have the knowledge of Agile using the tips of Agile. So if you're interested in the French session, please stay here. If you want to join the English session, we have another session starting in a few minutes with Marie Lanian. Please check in with the Zoom One team, and you'll be able to follow this, please. Yes, I think that's it for me. Thank you. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused right now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ashutosh. It was really, really, really interesting and very. I have the French word passionate, but it's not the right word in English. Instructive, very interesting session. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your time. Thank you for gracing us with the elements you have here. Can't wait to discuss further than this conference about this element. Thank you to all the participants. Please, we are going to mute and
thank you, Ashutosh.
with the next one. Yes.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Here. Thank you. Yeah. All the best for the event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.